Another sellout in the black community is at it again. Van Jones to the Jewish group. I apologize for the silence of my community, basically on behalf of what Kanye West has said. Now, do I agree with a lot of things that Kanye West is saying? No. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. And maybe I might not agree with the way he's applying things. But that doesn't mean that the things that I do agree with is not true. Now, we know that Kanye West has called out the music industry on bad contracts. He's a man that's been in the music industry for over 20 years. He's talked about their bad business deals. We've had issues with people like Brian Turner, Ted Fields, Jimmy Iovine. You know, people that's been the bankroll for gangster rap and a lot of bad music that's placed bad people in the black light. We also know about Sumner Redstone and people that's controlling Viacom and these movies and where they depict black people. I mean, we can go all the way back to the days of Mordecai Noah. A lot of us understand that Mordecai Noah, he was born to a Portuguese Sephardic family here in Philadelphia, the city I come from. He is the originator of the stereotypical black portrayed in American minstrel shows. He is known as the father of black minstrel. This is a Jewish man. He was a staunch racist. This is not anti-Semitic. What I'm talking about, this is American history. I'm not making nothing up. I'm not putting nothing on nobody. I'm not putting no smut on nobody's name. You can look this guy up and you can find him. If you go over, if you click here, let's see. We'll find him. If you look him up and you go into you go into the theaters and stuff like that, you'll find old works on Mordecai Noah and the things that he was doing, the way he depicted African Americans in the 1800s, to the point where African American newspapers was writing articles about this man because they were saying that he was depicting African Americans in a bad light. These were things that was being said many years ago. You can see here in the American Jewish Archives, they have Mordecai Noah here. This man is known. He's known to the world as the father of black minstrel shows. But the Jewish community will never speak about this. I'm not making nothing up. I'm not being anti-Semitic. If we're going to have a Jewish and black or African American coalition, we have to be honest and put the things on the table, and you can't hide behind the mask of anti-Semitism. If we supposed to have a good brotherhood, even if I say some things that you don't agree with, we should be able to have the conversation in order to bring clarity. So Van Jones, he goes off to apologize, and we get a chance to listen to some of the things that he said.
And she was a member of the Students Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Black and white kids who decided they were going to risk their lives and go down south and break the back of Jim Crow. And my godmother was the one that they picked to do the picking. They trusted her so much.
His godmother, who he's referring to, is Dottie Zellner, and we'll get into her in a second.
They thought she had so much just good common sense that she got to decide which black kids and which white kids could go and which ones were going to be too nutty and need to stay back on the campus. That was my godmother. She still got good sense. She buried her friends. 2 Jewish kids and a black kid got murdered that summer so that we can have a real democracy. We have 300 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow terror, and a bunch of crazy black and Jewish kids went down in one summer and broke the back of Jim Crow. The lives that we don't talk about.
Now, I want to stop it there. Because this is the woman who he's talking about, Dottie Zellner. And what makes this unfair is Zellner was born and raised in New York City, the child of immigrant Jewish leftists. Her parents taught her black history and the need for racial justice. She grew up hearing stories of the Jewish Renaissance to Nazi fascism. And, when you get here, she was part of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Zelna worked that, she handled fundraising and helped screen volunteers for Freedom Summer. Now this is the thing, she was a Jew. The Jews funded a lot of our movements. It's not hate speech, it's the truth. And she was a Jew. She was not African American. She was not a part of our struggle. They joined our struggle, and when they joined our struggle, they ended up getting more rights and power than we did. It's not hate speech, it's the truth. She was fundraising. So now the Jews have a powerful system set in place where they make billions of dollars from ownership of many different corporations. Blacks haven't done so well. So there's a lopsided relationship when it comes to this, because we don't have institutions that has built people like Van Jones to speak on behalf of us without being funded by them. So he has to carefully tiptoe through the tulips and say things based off of what they want him to say. We can't have a truthful conversation in order to get to the place of justice. Some people won't even like this video that I'm making because they'll call it anti-Semitic, or I had black people say, you can't go over there talking about them folks like that. But what am I really saying? If you're claiming that we're having this type of relationship, then we have to have a relationship where we see each other as equal and where we have equal power on the playing field. But if we're in a relationship where I'm the son and you're the parent, and I have to abide by your rules and everything that you say, and you get to do whatever it is that you want to do and never have to apologize for it. But if I say anything that you don't like, I have to get on my knees and crawl. We've seen what you did to Kyrie Irving. We've seen what you did to that guy, the guy with the show that's having all the kids. His name is escaping me right now. That was married to Mariah Carey, how you made him apologize and apologize and apologize. And you sent the rabbi on the show, and you have a political party, an economic class, a spiritual class. And when somebody goes against the things that you want, you give them a beating from every aspect of the places, the branches that protect you. We don't have those type of things set forth that can actually defend us. We have to go to you and get funding from you, and now speak for our community in your words. When do we get to say things in our words? Why does he got to come on here and say that he speaks? He apologized to you guys for what Kanye said. Kanye doesn't represent the black community. When does the black community have their own voice separate? The Freedom's Journal, all the way back in the 1800s, was fighting to have their own voice and their own image separate from what Mordecai Noah was doing with minstrel, the Negro minstrel show. They wanted something separate. It's American history. You can look it up. They wanted to be separate from Mordecai Noah. So when I bring this stuff up, Noah was a proponent of slavery in the United States in the mid-1800s. Noah wrote to emancipate the slaves. Noah wrote that to emancipate the slaves would be to jeopardize the safety of the whole country. The Freedom's Journal, which was the first black newspaper in the history of America, the Freedom's Journal called Noah the black man's bitterest enemy. I like to hear the Jewish community speak on Mordecai Noah. So before you call me anti-Semitic, as a black man who you said we have great relationships and we want to rebuild these relationships, we need to come to the table and have a real honest conversation without you pissing in my face and telling me it's raining. Noah wrote a play called Fortress Surrender, which was poorly reviewed and never staged by a white theater. However, the African Grove Theater staged it and performed it. Being associated with the African Americans whom he had dubbed eternal slaves made Noah very angry. Now that's important. He raided the theater, declared it illegal, and denounced black Americans as unfit to vote or hold office. So if we know that consciousness and that thought process all the way back in the 1800s That's how, now I'm not going to say some, all, but a lot of Jews view African Americans. What makes me think that ever changed? Yeah, you could join our movements to get you rights, but we've never had a balanced relationship ever. Ever. Because if we did, you wouldn't have did what you did to Kyrie in the manner in which you've done it. It would have been more of a conversation behind closed doors. So when I talk the way that I talk, I bring out facts to teach. I'm not talking from my emotions. I'm talking from documented American history. If you don't like what I'm saying, prove me wrong. So that concludes this live stream. This video here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share to the George Making Experience. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how you feel as a Jewish person or African American person. Because if you was a Jewish person, how would you feel if you constantly had black people speaking for you and your people, where you felt as though you didn't have a voice? How would that make you feel? As an African American, that's how a lot of us feel. Am I saying I hate all Jews? Absolutely not. But it's definitely not an even conversation or even relationship. So make sure y'all hit that like button. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.